A lot of people think failure is the opposite of success. They see one bad outcome and decide they're not cut out for it. They internalize the loss. They wear it like a scar that defines them. But here's what they don't understand. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the entry fee. Every single person who's ever done anything worth remembering has failed. Not once, not twice, but repeatedly, publicly, painfully. And the difference between them and everyone else isn't that they avoided failure. It's that they extracted the lesson, adjusted the approach, and refused to let the failure be the final word. These are the stories of the most successful failures in history. The people who lost everything and still found a way to win. Let's start with Thomas Edison. Everyone knows he invented the light bulb. What they don't know is that he failed over 10,000 times before he got it right. 10,000 attempts. Most people would have quit after 10. But when someone asked Edison how it felt to fail that many times, he said, "I didn't fail. I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work." That's not optimism. That's a complete reframe of what failure means. He didn't see dead ends. He saw data. Every failure gave him information. Every mistake narrowed the path to the solution. And because of that mindset, he didn't just invent the light bulb. He held over 1,000 patents and changed the world. That same pattern shows up in Henry Ford's story. Before he built Ford Motor Company, he failed twice in the car business. Twice. His first company went bankrupt. His second one collapsed because of disputes with investors. Most people would have taken that as a sign to try something else. But Ford didn't. He learned from every mistake. What went wrong with manufacturing, what went wrong with investors, what went wrong with pricing. And when he launched Ford Motor Company on his third attempt, he didn't just succeed. He revolutionized the entire industry with the assembly line and made cars affordable for the average person. The lesson here is simple. Failure isn't a verdict. It's a variable. And the greats treated it like one. Now let's talk about someone who failed on an even more public stage. Walt Disney. He was fired from a newspaper because his editor said he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Can you imagine that? The man who created Mickey Mouse, Disneyland, and an empire of imagination, told he had no creativity. But it didn't stop there. His first animation company went bankrupt. He lost the rights to his first successful character, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, because of a contract dispute. Most people would have been crushed, but Disney took that pain and created something better. Mickey Mouse. And even then, the road wasn't smooth. He was rejected over 300 times when trying to get funding for Disneyland. 300! Banks laughed at him. Investors said it would never work. But he built it anyway. And today, Disney is one of the most valuable brands on the planet. Because he didn't let failure define him. He let it refine him. In this video, we're unpacking the biggest failures that led to the biggest wins. And if you want the next deep dive on habits and legacy, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Some of the greatest successes came after absolute catastrophe. Take Colonel Sanders, who we touched on earlier. He didn't just fail in business, he lost everything. His restaurant shut down when a new interstate bypassed his town. At 65, he was broke, sleeping in his car, with nothing but a fried chicken recipe. And instead of accepting defeat, he drove around getting rejected over 1,000 times. Most people would have quit after 5. But Sanders kept going because he believed in what he had. And eventually, KFC became a global empire. He turned failure at 65 into fortune at 70. Now let's go even deeper into modern failure. Steve Jobs, the man who built Apple, fired from Apple. The The company he founded, the vision he created, ripped away from him by his own board in 1985. That's not just failure. That's public humiliation. The entire world watched him get pushed out of his own company. And for most people, that would have been the end, but not Jobs. He went and founded Next, which struggled. He bought Pixar, which almost went under multiple times. But he kept learning, kept building, kept iterating. And then in 1997, Apple was dying and brought him back. And when he returned, he didn't just save Apple. He turned it into the most valuable company in the world. The iPod, the iPhone, the iPad. None of that happens without the failure, because the failure taught him what success couldn't. Patience, focus, and the importance of controlling the entire ecosystem. He came back sharper, wiser, and unstoppable. That's the power of failure when you refuse to let it finish you. Let's talk about Oprah again, but from a different angle. Before she became a billionaire media mogul, she was fired from her first TV job as a news anchor in Baltimore. They told her she was too emotionally invested in the stories and not fit for television. Imagine being told you're not fit for the very thing you dominate. But instead of quitting, she pivoted. She leaned into what they called a weakness, her emotional connection, and turned it into her greatest strength. That's what made her talk show different. That's what made her relatable. That's what built an empire. And here's another brutal one. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time. Cut from his high school varsity team. Cut. He went home and cried. But then he used that pain as fuel. He said later that every time he stepped on the court, he was proving that coach wrong. Every championship, every MVP, every Hall of Fame moment, rooted in a failure that could have broken him. But instead, it built him. Here's the deeper lesson that connects all these stories. Failure reveals what success hides. Success can make you arrogant, comfortable, lazy. But failure? Failure strips you down. It shows you what you're really made of. It forces you to question everything, to rebuild from the foundation, to get honest about what's working and what's not. And the people who win after failure don't just come back the same. They come back better, stronger, smarter, more dangerous. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. What failure are you running from right now? What loss are you still holding on to like it's the end of your story? Because I guarantee, if you're willing to extract the lesson, if you're willing to adjust and try again, that failure is just the setup for your greatest success. The most successful people in history aren't the ones who never failed. They're the ones who failed the most and kept going anyway. They're the ones who treated failure like a teacher, not a tombstone. And that's the only difference between them and everyone else. Drop a comment. What's one failure you're ready to turn into fuel? Let's see who's serious about the comeback.